Hey, welcome back. Year of the paper. How are you doing? How are you feeling? So I hope that everyone went out, all right? They got their tea, their water, any and everything that you need. Because right now, all right, I hope that everyone is present on time, because I'm bringing in my guy, Tyler, over here. Come on in, Tyler. All right, so we're going to give away some stuff. Like right now is the time. Ty called the big dog on me to come and lock me down. But we sat down, ate a sandwich together, and said, you know what? The right thing to do is to give away as much as we can.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Let's do it.
How do you feel about that?
I think that we should.
All right, I think we should step the gift up a little bit.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think we should give away some bags.
You think we should give away some bags? Yeah. Let's do it. You know what? Let's do this. Let's do a screen share. This is where I need everyone's help here. All right. And then boom. All right, cool. Tyler, you want to take this over?
Let's do it.
All right, cool.
This is the bag. You hold that one?
Yes, Ken.
Catherine Borman.
Catherine, are you here with us? Catherine, is Catherine with us?
I see her.
Awesome. You got this awesome, super awesome bag coming your way. Tyler, you want to give away another one? Let's give another one. Why not? Y'all want another one? Let me get some hand knives.
Our next winner is Jimmy.
Jimmy in the building. Abigail, is Jimmy with us?
I believe Jimmy is here. I just don't see his last name.
Building, Jimmy, man, you get a bag, boy, you get a bag. All right, you know what? Let's do another one. Come on, Ruth, come on.
Our next winner is Gabriella Speth.
Gabriella! Is Gabby with us?
She's here.
Damn, how you feeling, man?
I think we should do one more.
One more? Are you sure?
One more. I think we should do one
You
more.
one more?
Maybe.
Well, let's go ahead. Let's do it. Yeah, I love it. Yes, I love it. Come on.
Shayla, you are a lucky winner of the last final bag.
Woo!
Is she in the chat?
She's here, guys.
All right. You know what? Let me see this for once. I don't think that's enough. I don't think it's enough. We just got called from the big dogs, so from some special individuals that enjoy what Tyler and myself is doing. All right, Tyler. Let's see what we're gonna do here. Right here. All right. So, I want to about to move. It says didn't go. All right, cool. So this is what we're gonna do. All right. We want you to go into the Facebook group. All right. And we want you to put in the Facebook group your biggest takeaways so far. And what we're going to do is we're going to randomly, pick 4 people who go into the Facebook group, all right, and put in their biggest takeaway, and we're going to send you $25. How about that? We're going to send 4 people. So go in right now into the Facebook group and put in your biggest takeaway, and we're going to randomly pick 4 people and send them $25. How about that?
Hey, that's a deal.
How about that?
Hey, Lenny, can you hear me?
I
think you're playing games, man. Listen, we talk about going big around here. So if you're not going to do it the right way, what's the point in doing it? All right, let's double that. Let's go to $50 here. So we're going to give away $50 to 4 random people. What do you guys think about that? Should we double it to $50? Let's do that. What do you think? David, what do you think? Rusty, what do you think? Phyllis, what do you think? Chantel, what do you think? Let's do it. All right. I don't see the enthusiasm. Where's it at? Come on, guys. Let's do it.
Let's go.
$50. Let's give 4 $50 winners. Let's do it. This guy's talking about $25. He's making a Kindle Cash Flow name look bad. All right. Let's do it.
All right. You want to go check him out? Ty, you want to give him now or you want to wait till then?
We're going to wait until the end. We'll do that. All right. We'll wait, not until the end, but we'll wait until I share what I'm going to share with him. And then we'll come back and we'll do that. All right. So this is going to give you guys to go in and post. What are your biggest takeaways right now from this event? What are your biggest takeaways from day one? Go into the Facebook group, Kindle Cashflow Live, kindlecashflow.com/Facebook. My biggest takeaway from Kindle Cashflow Live day one is X. And then we're going to randomly pick 4 people for $50 prize. We're going to send you this by PayPal today. All right. Post it and done. Now, once you're done, do exactly what Christina Martin just did. Come back in and say, hey, I'm done. I posted it. I'm done. I'm finished. All right. And then after my session, Lenny, you can go in, you'll randomly pick those people, and then we'll be good to go. All right. So that's it. Back to you, Lenny, and then we'll get into this content.
Awesome. So great, man. We're going to go in. So right now, we're stalling just a little bit to give everybody some time to go and put in their biggest takeaway, and we're going to randomly pick 4 people. And by day end today, we're going to send you $50, all right, via PayPal, all right? So with that being said, all right, then we're going to move this along, all right? We're going to bring back on Ty. He's going to share, some powerful information. Once again, right now is the time to be laser focused, all right? Right now is the time to make sure you take a good look at that phone, either cut it off or put it on silent, all right? Shut all the doors, because what we're about to give and what Ty is going to provide you right now is some powerful, amazing stuff, and I do not want you to miss it at all. So with that being said, Ty, I just want you to go in. I want you to make sure you don't leave anything out. I want you to add any and everything that you can, to make sure everybody gets the super value that you want them to have. With that being said, Ty, let's go. Let's go.
Absolutely. Let's do it. All right, guys. So what I'm going to talk about now are 3 ways to get your content created. So 3 ways to get your content created and how to get your money-making Kindle ebook created super fast, right? Now, it doesn't matter if you're trying to write these things yourself. Doesn't matter if you're going to go in and outsource. Doesn't matter if you want to actually combine both of them. I think Carol Clark was talking about, she's a writer and she also embraces the outsourcing portion of this. So I'm going to show you 3 different ways to get your content created. We're going to jump into this. Then we'll come back and we're going to give away some cash. And maybe we'll throw in some additional prizes as well. Who knows? All right. So now, here's what we're going to do. I want to make sure that you guys can see my screen. Can you see my screen? Give me just a head nod, a yes, if you can see my screen. All right. Thank you, Carol. It says 3 ways to get your content created. All right. I'm going to jump into this. Before we start, remember, you want to go in and book your coaching session if you have not booked your coaching session. All right. So you go over to the hub. Abigail, if you could put that link in once again, or you can also go to kindlecashflow.com/seminar. And then once you do that, you'll go over to a page that looks like this. And then you come over here. You can book your coaching session by clicking the red button here. All right. That'll get you in. And then you click this to schedule your coaching session. You'll see a countdown. And then once that bad boy counts down, then you'll be able to go in. You'll schedule a time that works for you once you've scheduled your coaching session. If you have not done so yet, I know there's some people that came to this event a little bit late. And if you did, shame on you because you missed a lot of information. Once this thing counts down, you'll be able to go in. You'll be able to click this link. Schedule your coaching session. That's if you have not scheduled one yet. All right. So sounds good. So now going back into my slides here, the other thing that I want to share with you here before we jump into this is if you have not upgraded to VIP, make sure you do so. I mean, I know you're watching this and you're looking at all of the cash, the prizes that we're giving away, and you're wondering, how do you participate? Well, there's 2 ways that you have to actually take part in this to participate. The first is you have to be a VIP member. All right. So you can go over to kindlecashflow.com/VIP and upgrade that way. Or if you're in the hub, you can actually go in and click the purple VIP upgrade button, and that will upgrade you to VIP, where you get all of the best of the best. You get to speak to a coach, you get to participate in the chat box, you get to get the recordings of this event as well, so you can go back and review them. We're giving you a lot of content. So being able to go in and review your content, go in and take notes and organize this thing that works in a way that works best for you is something that's extremely valuable. So you want to upgrade to VIP. Now, let's jump into getting your money-making Amazon Kindle ebook created. All right, so we're going to take a look at 3 of the fastest, most common methods. Number 1, you can get someone who loves writing to write it for you. All right, you can get someone who loves writing to write it for you. These are short books. There's 2 different sites that I like to use. There's actually a few, but 2 of my favorite are Upwork and Guru. All right, we're going to go over both of these actually. If you guys want to go over both of them, we'll play it by ear and see what happens based on the amount of time. And then we're also going to talk about how do you go in and speak it and have it transcribed. This is another way that you can get content created. Super simple, super easy. I'm going to go over how this works for you. It's very cost effective. And then the third way we'll talk about, which is writing your content if you're a writer. All right. So if you are a writer, we'll talk about how do you go in and really do this the right way. So now the first step, let's go in and look at how do we outsource the content creation process. I want to go out and let's take a look at 2 of my favorite sites right here. So first we'll go over to Guru. How many people are familiar with hiring a ghostwriter or posting a project? If you are not familiar with how to post a project on Guru or Upwork, just type in me. If you are not familiar with how to do this, if you do not know how to go in and hire a ghostwriter, post a project where you can actually hire someone to write your content for you, just post or comment me in the chat box. I want to see how many people are not familiar with this, because this is going to give me an indication as to how detailed I need to go in on this. I'm here as long as you guys need me to be. All right. So if you are not familiar now, if you do know how to go in and hire, if you do know how to go in and post a project on Upwork or Guru, put yes in. Just type yes if you do know how to do this. All right. And if you've done this. All right. So there's a lot more no's than there are yeses. All right, cool. All right. So we're going to go through this. So now Upwork and Guru are both 2 sites that are pretty much free. You don't have to pay anything to be able to access the sites. You don't have to pay anything to create a content. You don't have to pay anything to actually go in and post a job. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go in and create your account. Now, I'm not going to go over that because creating an account is extremely simple here. What I do want to do is I want to go over how do we find an editor if you guys need an editor. How do we go in and how do we find a writer if you need a writer, right? So we're going to use, I've got a series of templates that I wrote out. I created these things and I'm always refining these things. I'm always revising them and always updating them. And I'm actually going to give you these templates, all right? How many people would like to have these templates here? All right, so I'll give you these templates as well. All right, so now here's how we do this. If you want the templates, just type in templates so I know who wants them. All right, so I'll give you these. All right, so that way I know who wants them. So just type in templates. Don't type in me or anything like that, just templates. So now the first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to go in and post a project for a, let's work. We're going to work randomly here. So we'll go in, we'll post a project for a nonfiction ghostwriter. All right, this is a nonfiction ghostwriter. Now, if you need to go in and hire a nonfiction ghostwriter to write your content for you, this is how you'll do it. All right, so now let's say if we come over here and we go back over here to Upwork, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to click post a job. All right, post a job. And now because this is nonfiction, there's a few different things that we're going to do. So we want to hit short-term or part-time work. And let me know if you guys can see my screen. All right. No, this will not be in a black box. All right. And then we'll hit continue. All right. Now we're going to title this. Now your title is super important because this is going to really bring in the people that are going to be, you know, the most appropriate for your job. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go back over here to my template. And let me just move this. What I'm going to do is remember where we went back and we did the market research for nonfiction earlier. And I talked about how you can go in and do research for like keto dieting or something like that. Do you guys remember that? All right. So now what we're going to do is, let's say if we needed a ghostwriter to write a keto dieting book, right? So just go in, writer needed. 25-page. So I'm going to put keto dieting. And let me know if this is too small. All right. Can you guys see this? If not, let me just increase it just in case. Because I know some of you guys are on mobile devices. Is that better? All right. Awesome. 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 All right. So now writer needed to write a 25-page report on keto dieting. Right. So it's going to be straight to the point. When you're writing out your project descriptions, you want it to be really clear. You want there to be no guessing. You want there to be, you know, total transparency on what you're putting out there so that when someone looks at this project post, there's like no mistaking as to what you want. And we're starting that off with the title. So someone that reads this title, there's no doubt as to what's needed here, right? Like it's we're using maybe about 75 characters here, 80 characters maybe, but it's very descriptive, right? So we need a writer to write a 25-page report on keto dieting, right? And now job category. So I like to post in a few different categories. So I'll start off like in ghostwriting. Sometimes I'll start off in content writing, right? So I'm going to leave this in ghostwriting and then I'll hit next here. And then now here's what I'm looking for. All right. So this has changed up a little bit since some of you guys may have last seen Upwork. Does it look a little bit different than the last time? All right. So here, what we're going to do is we're going to go in and we're going to select some of these skills. So ghostwriting, content writing. I'll select article writing sometimes. I'm selecting just writing, right? So you want to put in as many of these skill sets as possible. Yeah, David, it looks a lot cleaner. Absolutely. All right. So I might put in creative writing, right? What else would work here? So that's about it. I'm not going to go in and select English grammar. I'm not going to select English fact checking article. I might select article, all right? I can throw that in there. So now the next thing that you want to do is you're going to look at these and see what else would work, right? So fact checking research, ghostwriting deliverables. Here's what I'm going to select ebook here. I'm going to select blog content, all right? I'm going to select under writing genres here. I'm going to select nonfiction because we're looking for nonfiction here, right? In this case, if it was fiction, then we would select fiction, right? I'm going to see what else they have here and if there's anything else that works. Now, keep in mind, there's no one size fits all for whatever it is that you're looking to have outsourced, right? So as you go through these, just look and just use a little bit of common sense and say, hey, this would work, this may not work. And if you're in doubt, select it. Like if you doubt, if you're like on the edge, you don't know if it's going to work or not, if it should be selected, select it. Okay. So go ahead and select it. All right. So now writing topics, we're going to move down this. All right. So again, we're going down. Let's see what else they have here. Finance, food and beverage. So we can probably select food and beverage, right? If this is a book on keto dieting, nonprofit real estate, nothing else. Legal, manufacturing, nothing else, right? Now, what I want you to do is when you're here, you want to make sure that you're selecting English, all right? Make sure you select English here because we only want folks that are writing English and that are good with writing English. We're going to bypass this. We're going to bypass this. We're going to bypass this, all right? We're going to bypass the rest of these things and we're going to hit scope next, all right? So now, what's for scope? This is a very small project, right? It's going to take less than a month. Does everyone get that so far? Small project, less than a month. Small project, less than a month. What level of experience will be needed? All right. What do you think we select here? Entry, intermediate, or expert? Go ahead and put it in the chat box. I want you to just randomly guess. Entry, intermediate, or expert? What do you think? So we see some people, Aaron says entry, Polly G says expert, Anita Hill says expert. I like to start with entry. Now, here's the reason why. Why do you think that is? I'll go in and I'll select people that kind of really think of themselves as basic writers, that think of themselves as entry-level writers, because most people typically downplay their skill. Even people that are awesome writers that have been writing for years and decades, right? They still have this mental block where they're not comfortable with kind of categorizing themselves as an expert, right? There's this imposter syndrome that plays on people. It plays on a lot of us. So we'll kind of downplay our skill set. So what I find is I find that if I go in and I select entry level, guess what's happening? I'm getting a lot more people that bid on my project because there's a larger pool of people that classify themselves as entry level writers versus experts. Does that make sense? I'm not going to move on because I want to make sure that everyone makes sense. So during each of these steps, if I think that there's clarity that's needed, I want to make sure that I ask you so. Make sense? Absolutely. Thank you, David Garvin. Thank you, Chef. Thank you, Shalon, Kathy. All right. So next, we're going to select location. So now, here's what I like to do. I like to go worldwide here, but in my description, I'm going to specify what locations I'm looking for my writers in. All right. I'll say that again. So here, I'm going to go worldwide because I don't want to limit myself just to the US. So I'm going to go worldwide here, but in my description, I'm actually going to specify where I'm looking for my writers to be from as far as countries. Does that make sense? All right. All right. So now let's go in here. So let me know if that makes sense to you really quickly. All right. Okay. So now if you want to go a little bit further than that, you can post it in your description. So let's see if I have it in. I think I do have it in description. So here, right? So I've got the US, UK, Australia, Canada, South Africa, Jamaica, Puerto Rico. Now you can also go in what Upwork has done now. And this is why I just asked you guys at the very beginning, how many people are familiar with this process and how many are not? Because Upwork has made some changes recently. So now what you can do with Upwork is you can actually state which countries, right, you want folks to be from. So I can go over here and I can say the United Kingdom. I could say the United States. I can go in and I can type in Canada, right? I can type in Jamaica. I can type in Australia. So that's pretty cool, right? So do you see that? Like there's a lot that you can do here now. So I can go in, I can type in Puerto Rico. Nope, absolutely. It was not an option last time, Rusty. So I like how they have this in here now. So I can go in and I can go in and say, hey, these are the locations that my project post should be displayed in, right? So who else do I have up here? I've got South Africa, I've got Jamaica, Puerto Rico, US, UK. Let me get South Africa in here. Boom, South Africa. Now take a screenshot of this right here if you want. I'm also going to give you, like I said, I'll give you guys the template. So everyone that typed in template and who has scheduled a coaching call, I'm going to give you these templates. So everyone that typed in template and who has scheduled a coaching call, I'm going to give you these templates. So now, so we have all of our countries here, right? And Puerto Rico. And now we're going to move over to the budget. So now in the ghostwriting project, let me just go down here a little bit. I'm specifically telling them what I'm comfortable with paying. $150 for this thing, right? $150. So I'm putting my my budget in here. I'm not going, you never want to select hourly rate. Whatever you do, never select hourly rate. Why is it that you never want to select hourly rate? Right? So I'm putting project budget in here, and then I'm going to specify that I want this project to be done for $150. Yes, because they'll milk it. They might milk it. Absolutely, Christine. All right. They'll hold you, says Rusty, I think it was. Mucho dollars, says Cassie. Cassie, I love that name. All right. So now I'm going to go in and I'm going to review the job post. All right. Now, what am I missing still here? I'm missing my description, right? Right. So I'm missing my description. And that's where these templates that come into play that I gave you. Let me just make this thing a little bit smaller really quickly. Then I'll enlarge it again. So now when I give you these templates, I don't want you to copy them word for word. As I mentioned here, I want you to just go in and change them up. All right. So now I'm going to go over here. I'm going to copy this up. Actually, I may need to download this first. So let me download it first. I'm going to download it really quickly. And then, actually, you know what? Let me see if I can copy it without doing that. It's a PDF, so sometimes PDFs are a little bit finicky. Let me go grab the Word doc version. I'll be right back. I'm gonna pause my screen for a second, then grab the Word doc version, and then nonfiction one off. All right, there we go. So now I can come in and I can copy and paste it. So I'm going to take that, I'm going to post it here, and now this is my project post here. All right, so now, do you guys want to read over this? I'm going to read over it before I post it so that I give you clarity as to what's happening here. All right, so now in the project post, here's what I'm saying. I'm saying I need a 25-page report on keto dieting for beginners, because that's what our research showed, right? Our research showed that the book that we went in and found that meets all 4 criteria. Who remembers what all 4 criteria are? All right. Showed that keto dieting for beginners was a book that worked really well. It sold extremely well. It had a bestsellers ranking of less than 20,000. All right. So I'm going to go in and look for a writer to write something similar. So I'm saying I'm starting this off with something that's similar to my title. So 25-page report on keto dieting for beginners needed. Why am I phrasing this as a report instead of saying 25-page, Amazon Kindle book on keto dieting needed? What's your best guess? Why am I saying report? Why am I saying this instead of this? What are your thoughts? Right? Yeah, it's perceived value, right? So the perceived value is greater. So if someone comes in and they say, hey, geez, this guy or this lady wants me to write a book, like in their head, they're thinking, God forbid you use the word book. I said Kindle book. But if you use the word book, then they're really thinking big bucks, right? But a report sounds less expensive. So you want to make sure that you're framing these things the right way from beginning to end. So 25-page report on keto dieting. All right. Yes. Christian says, sounds like something that's going to be highly profitable. All right. So that's why I phrase it that way. And then if you look at the rest of this, I'm looking to hire someone that's in the US, the UK, Australia, Canada, South Africa, Jamaica, or Puerto Rico. Right. Why am I choosing these countries here? And if you guys know this stuff, right, the repetition of it makes it a lot more clearer, makes it a lot more easier for you to jump in. It makes it easier for you to get over the analysis by paralysis, right? Because we want native English speakers, says Anita Hill. Tamara says, nope, Tamara. So here's the thing. Yeah, absolutely. So English, right? English is their first language. All right. So there you go. To write a 25-page report on how to write using, that's not right, but keto dieting for me to use on my blog. It's none of your business where you're going to use this, because what happens is once you pay them, there's a transfer there, right? So there's a transfer of currency. You pay them for $150, you get the content and you own the copyrights to it. You own the byline rights to it, meaning you can put whatever author name you want on there. All right. You own the resale rights to it. So you own all of the rights to it. And then here I like to go in and I like to say, I need this done ASAP. So I'm asking them, I'm stating number one, like when I need this done. So ASAP means really quickly, right? And then I'm asking them a question here. Please state how quickly you can get it done. Now, why am I asking them this? Why am I asking them this? Yes, Ireland is another great spot. Absolutely. Right? I want to know like what's their definition of quick? Because everyone's interpretation of something is different, right? So my meaning of quick is 7 days. Like I need this thing done in 7 days or less. But someone else, they may think, hey, 30 days is quick, right? For 25 pages, that's quick. So we want to have clarity in what their meaning of quick is too. So when they come back and they're like, yeah, I can get this thing done in 2 weeks. You're like, no, that doesn't work, right? So I don't like to give them a time frame. I like to let them tell me what the time frame is, right? And then you say, I'm looking for content similar to what you would find in a book like this one. So now that's the book that when we did our research, right? It met all 4 of our criteria, So now we're giving them a link to that book's description page on Amazon. So now here's what I do next. I say, I'm only looking for unique content, meaning nothing that you turn in should be plagiarized or stolen from other sources, especially the book that we include above. So I'm telling them already, I'm framing it this way. I'm saying, hey, listen, we only want unique content. We want this to come from your own creative imagination here, all right? And your research ability. That link is only for your reference and to give you an idea of what we're looking for. We will check. Now, here's the thing, guys. I've never had someone that has gone on to like just blatantly copy content from somewhere else. I've never had that. So if that's something that you're thinking, that's kind of a false fear, right? So it's natural, but it is a false fear. And then I go on to say this report needs to be about 25 pages of high quality content, no fluff, no filler. When bidding, so that I know that you actually took the time to read this post and are not blindly bidding, please mention the word Space Jam. All right. Why am I asking them to do this? Why am I asking them to mention this weird word? And Space Jam 2 just came out. So I might say, hey, mention Space Jam 2. Why am I asking them to do that? Right, Kay Rivera, to see if they can follow instructions, right? George says to make sure that they are paying attention to detail. Ricardo says to make sure they read it, right? To make sure they read thoroughly, says Suzanne. All right. So that's what it is. So I only want the individual if you're hiring a writer, someone that's going to create your content, you want high quality content. You want good stuff. You want to be able to, this is going to be your baseline for repeat sales. This is going to be your baseline to get those reviews in, those 4 stars, those 5-star reviews that you're after, right? So you want to make sure that the person that's writing your content can follow simple instructions. So if they get here and they're bidding on your project, and they leave this out, guess what? Is there a possibility that they're going to leave other stuff out when they start writing your book? Absolutely, right? Now, I say the finished project must be written in Times New Roman. Anita just asked why Times New Roman. That's just a font that I like, but it could be Arial. So Arial is another one that I love, which is what's here. So I'm going to switch back and forth, right? So I don't know if I have, yep, here's Times. So this is Times versus Arial. So I just like these two. They're very clear, very clean, clear, easy to read. You have to think that your Kindle books are going to be read, consumed, and just on different multiple devices, right? Some people might be reading them from their iPhone. Some people might be on Android. Some people might have an actual Kindle device, all right? All right. So there you go. So you can use Arial, you can use Times New Roman, and that's just what I prefer. Now it's going to be kind of transferred over when you upload it to Kindle anyway, so it doesn't really matter whichever one you choose. And then I say 10-point font here, again, because I want to, when I get my content back, I'm increasing it to 20 points. Not 20, I'm sorry, to like 12 points or 14 points. And no more than 1/2 inch margins all the way around. So top, bottom, left, right. All right. Yes, Kelly, they're a lot more professional as well. All right. No double spacing. So you'll get some writers every once in a while. If you don't put this stuff in here, you'll get someone that comes in and your book is like this. Now, what does that tell you about that writer? They're handing in something that's double spaced like that versus it being single spaced like what you see here. Lazy, absolutely, Terry. They're trying to take shortcuts, right? They're trying to give you the 25 pages, but they're trying to take shortcuts at the same time. So I'm telling them, listen, folks, no double spacing, and I want 10-point fonts. They wrote half as much, says C. Michael Brennan. Absolutely. Right. C. Michael Brennan says 25 pages, 1 word per page. Right. Absolutely. And then I say the finished report must be a Word document. Now here, do not let them give you a finished piece of content in a PDF file. I've had writers who wanted to submit their finished work in a PDF. I don't want that. Why not a PDF? Why don't you want it to be submitted in a PDF format? What's your wildest guess? Because it's harder to edit, right, Corey? Absolutely. Like if I want to go in and edit, you can convert your PDF to Word, right? But that's an extra step. Why have to do that? You want to eliminate the extra steps. So you tell them to give you this thing in a Word doc. Now, one of the things that I've been doing lately with some of my most recent books is I'm telling them just to give me a Google Doc file. So share your file with me. Maybe I can actually show you. I was going to say maybe I could show you, but I don't like to share my titles. But yeah, so I can actually, I'll say, give me a Google Doc file so I can edit it if I need to. Or if what I like to do, like I said, I'll ask them to give me a Google Doc file and then I can give that to my editor. I give that link to the editor, right? And then she can edit it directly from within this. So Google Doc file would be just like what I have here. I can access it on any device. Even if I wanted to go on my phone or on my laptop, I'm on my desktop now, but if I wanted to go on my laptop, I can still access it from that link instead of having to, upload a document, a file, a Word doc file somewhere and then sharing it that way, right? Yeah, absolutely. You can do it that way as well. Kristen said that's been my struggle. Thank you. What's been the struggle, Kristen? Was it Word doc or what? All right. Would the price be negotiable? Absolutely, Gloria. And if you want to look at how do we go in and negotiate, we can definitely do that. I'll show you how to negotiate. And then I say, listen, I will own all of the rights to the completed work once you're fully paid, including but not limited to resale rights, byline rights, and copyrights. Everything. All right. I actually need several of these types of reports. So if the quality of your work is great and your prices and turnaround time are fair, we will hire you for all or many more of our projects. And then I'm looking to pay $150 for this project. So again, it's totally clear. Now, if you're looking at this, right, and if you've got common sense, like, is there any doubt as to what's needed here? Like what's expected? Yes or no? The person that's looking at this thing, is it clear to them? Is there any doubt as to what you expect? So if you get your finished content, and if it doesn't check all of these boxes, they go back to the drawing board, right? Or you don't have to pay. Nope. I'm not paying for that. You didn't check all the boxes. You gave me this thing in 12-point fonts, 14-point fonts, right? You didn't give me the bullet points that I needed, right? You didn't give me everything that I asked for. So now they go through this thing and they're like, boom, okay, I'm going to start this off. I need it to be in Times New Roman. Boom, I need it to be 10-point fonts. I need to go in and set my margins. Oh, half-inch margins all the way around. Let me go in and set that up. Let me make sure that there's no double spacing, right? And then before I start, let me make sure that I have this paragraph, this summary of what this book, this report is going to be all about. What do we use this for? What do we use this paragraph, this summary for? That's our description, right? That's our description. So Alethea, I think it's Alethea or Althea says, what if you don't know the quality of their work? We're going to look at that, right? We'll talk about that if you want. So just remind me. So yeah, you use this for your description. I need 12 to 15 bullet points, right? That's going to go in your description. This is going to go in all of your marketing material. So even if you're like running Facebook ads, or if you're, marketing this anywhere else, you already have the content that you can use to market it here within your summary and with your bullet points. You can copy and paste this over into your Facebook ads, copy and paste it into your other marketing materials. All right. So now, last but not least, I close this out by saying, when bidding, please state how quickly you can get this done. I'm asking them again because, again, I want total clarity, right? I want to set the expectations, all right? So someone just asked, hey, are you editing their work or are you using it as is? So both. So sometimes you'll get a writer and they are just good. There's many writers that actually work as editors and proofreaders. So those writers are good. And when we get those people, what do we like to do? We like to keep them, right? We want to make sure that we're using them over and over and over again. And then sometimes, you'll get some writers and then you're passing that off to an editor. All right. So I personally like to only work with writers that are giving me 100% completed material that I can take and I can upload to Amazon. 100% finished content that I don't have to send over to an editor, right? That I know the quality of their work is good. So we'll go in and we'll read it and it's good. We're not finding any flaws. And those people you keep, right? Those people you consistently give work and you want them to write the next book and the next book and the next book for you. Okay. So now, does that make sense? So now we're over here. We're on Upwork. I've got the description in here. I'm going to go in. I've got everything else in here. Now I'm going to post the job. So now it says, congratulations, your job post is live. Invite top candidates. All right. But now the job posting is live. It's over here. It's on Upwork. If I go over to jobs, it's there. All right. So you see it here. Boom. And that's it. And now we start getting the bids that come in. All right. Now, normally here, how long do you wait before you go in and you select someone? How long do you give this thing before you start getting bids and you start getting writers that actually say, hey, I'll do this thing? All right. I personally like to wait anywhere between 3 to 5 days. I like to go in and post it. So I'm posting this now. And the reason why I'm waiting 3 to 5 days is because I want as many people as possible. Now, if you go in and you post this thing on a weekend, sometimes you post it on a Friday night, you're probably not going to see as many people bidding on this, right? Because people are active on a Friday night. They're active on a weekend. They're spending time with their family, their children, to themselves, outside activities. They're going to church, whatever it may be on a Sunday, right? And then they're not going to see this post until Monday. So if I posted this on a Friday, and then I'm looking to hire someone that night, or if I'm looking to hire someone the next day, 2 days into it, or even 3 days into it, that'll be a Sunday, right? So I like to let this thing just really pretty much marinate and get as many folks as I possibly can to bid on it. All right. What if I got 100 versus time? Someone says I had a great coaching call with Sue White. Awesome. Awesome. Hey guys, when you talk to your coaches and you're done, come back in here. Let us know what did you think about your coaching call? Let us know in the Facebook group also. What did you think about your coaching call? Remember, the comments that you place in the Facebook group are going to enter you in for the cash prizes that will be given away after this. All right. So now here's the thing. So I got this posted over on Upwork. Should we post this on Guru as well? Are you guys interested in seeing how we post this on Guru? All right. So yeah, so Rusty says, I wanted to wait, but I found one first day that really sold me with his enthusiasm. Rusty, that's awesome. If you go in and you find someone and you know that they're the one, listen to your heart, right? Listen to what's in here. If you go in and you post and you find someone that's the one, it's like, guys, you find the woman that's the one, what are you going to do? That's the one. You're not going to go in and say, well, I'm going to try 5 or 6 or 7, 8 or 9 or 10 others. There's a name for that. They start to call you. All right. So here we go. All right. So let's go over to Google. Great coaching call with Chase. I booked the follow-up for Sunday. Very cool, Corey. Awesome. All right. So let's go over to Google. So we'll do the same thing here on Google. So this is what Google looks like. I got a mess on Google because I actually have a ton of projects posted on all of these, right? Like all of these sites. Do you guys want to see some of the other crazy projects that I have posted here, or do you want to go right into Google and continue moving with this stuff? I'll let you vote. Google or yes? David says, I want to see the crazy. Yeah, so here. So remember when I was talking to Lindsay earlier, and she was like, once I started to grasp the concept of outsourcing, like she's using it in other aspects of her life, or she sees how it can practically be used in other aspects of her life. So I post jobs for like lots of stuff, right? So here's a logo that's needed. So me and Lenny, the boss, we just recently started a podcast, a real estate podcast for people that are interested in real estate. We invest heavily into real estate, multifamily properties, commercial properties, residential properties, long-term rentals, short-term rentals. So we always get people that are asking us questions. So we're like, man, we should put together a podcast. We have fun talking about this stuff. So here's what I needed. I needed a guy to go in and start creating some logos for us, right? Copywriter. Needed a copywriter to go in and write 14 emails, right? So stuff that you may, I'm good at writing copy. Actually, I'm great at writing copy. I'm amazing at writing copy. But for this was a project that I just didn't have the time to do. So I went in and I hired someone, right? For the logo, I don't know how to create a logo, right? So I can go in and I hire someone who knows how to do it. Let's see what else I got. All right. So Ashley, definitely tune into our podcast if you're interested in real estate. All right. Overlay image. So this was something else. This is an overlay image for the Kindle Cashflow interviews that I use. So if you guys have ever watched any of our interviews recently, you'll see like the Kindle Cashflow logo in the upper left-hand corner. You'll see something else in the lower right-hand corner. All right. What else? Copywriter, remove static from a video. There was a video that I had that had a ton of static. So you guys can really go in and you can hire people for all types of things. All right. So all types of things. Proofreader needed for some of my 30K word ebooks. All right. Someone says, how are you managing all of your posts? They are in no order. Just by scrolling through. That's it. All right. Passionate writers needed to write prequels. So I went back and I started writing prequels for all of my books that were selling extremely well. The books that I had written, 4 or 5 years ago that I didn't have prequels for. Started to go in and build up lists for those. So do you guys see how you can literally go in and hire people for like literally anything? Some of these don't have bids because I kind of closed them out after I hired someone. But here's a logo edit. I had a logo that I needed to have edited. 173 people freaking bid on that. All right. So I'm going to jump back into this. Let's go back over to Google. We're going to post the same project, but do you see how you can actually hire people to do anything. All right. So now we're here. We're on Google. This is another site just like Upwork where you can go in and you can find high quality freelancers. You can find people that are great at writing, that are passionate about writing, that love writing to write your content for you. So we'll go over here. The first thing you do is you go in and you hit post a job. So pretty much just like with Google, I'm going to copy a lot of what I have over here. And this is what I do. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll go in and I'll post on both sites. So let me edit this. I'll just post on Upwork and then I'll post the same job over on Google. Now, the title here on Upwork, you have a few more characters than what you get on Google. So I'll usually make my titles different. 25 page. All right. I got 4 characters left. Maybe I could put ASAP in there. Okay. So now I'm just copying and pasting. I'm going back to my template. I'm going to copy all of this over. And I'm pasting it right in there. Does that make the templates make it so much more easier, right? You just copy and paste it. Can make some corrections there. Add a comma here. Right? Hyphen there. And now what are we doing? Now we're going to select the category. So writing and translation, right? So now I want you guys to guess, what would you select here? So we're doing this exercise here. What would you select here for this type of book? All right. What would you select here for this type of book? I want you to go in and put your answers in. All right. I want to check how much time I have left because there's so much more stuff that I want to share with you. So as you're putting your answers in there, go in and let me know. Man, time flies by so fast when you're doing these things. So let's see. Articles and news or research, says Julia Howard. Steve says articles. Leo says web content. Web content would not work for keto. General book, says Layla. Yes. All right. So here, I'm going to select general. Right. And then it would be book writing, content writing. It would be, keto dieting. Right. It would be, I can select, no, not formal writing. Select this concept. You can really select a lot of these. All right. Then you can also go in and you can actually type in what you're looking for here as well. So you can, hold on, guys. I'm looking at my time. I'm trying to make sure that I'm good for time. So you can type in, like if you're looking for nonfiction, you can go in here, type in nonfiction writer, right? There's a lot. So if you were doing this for romance, you can go and select romance writing, romance author, romance fiction, romance novelist, right? Mystery books, mystery writing, mystery shopping would not work. Let's see, sci-fi, science fiction writing, right?
Hey,
So
Todd, sorry, is your screen frozen?
it is frozen. Boom. How about now? Was it frozen that entire time?
Probably.
Oh,
It's
there it
good
goes.
now.
Nope,
Yeah.
it's good now. All right. It's good now. All right. So it looks like it was frozen for the last couple of seconds. All right, so cool. So now, do you guys see how you can go in? Like, let me go back. Like, let's say, because you missed romance, right? So I was right. I was in here showing how you can do this for fiction as well. Right? So you see that? So romance writing, romance author, romance fiction, romance novelist. If you were doing this for, romance, you could also type in something like fiction. Fiction writing, fiction writer, right? Fiction editing. You can go in, you can type in something like nonfiction in this case, right? Which I actually have. So there's nonfiction here, nonfiction writer, nonfiction without the hyphen. So there's so many different things. So go in and get creative. If it was something like children's books, right? And if you needed an illustrator, children's book illustration, right? So I like Guru because of this fact right here. Like you can actually go in and you can type in keywords. And if there's ghostwriters that actually have that, like in their profile, then they'll see your project post as well. Okay. But then when you select these, this opens it up to even more ghostwriters. All right. So now, does that make sense to everyone? Really quickly, before I move on, I want to make sure that part made sense to everyone. All right. Give me a big yes. Give me a big yes. Give me a big yes. All right. Cool. Thank you, David. All right. Right. Yes. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you, Suzanne, Anita. All right, cool. So now let's move on. So how do you want to pay for this job? Are we going to select hourly? No, not at all, Carol Clark, right? Under 250. They don't have an under 200, under 150. So I select under 250. And then where do we want this thing to be visible? I want it to be visible everywhere. And then location, you can go in and just like with Upwork, you can say, hey, put this thing over in Canada. You can put it in the UK. You can put it in Ireland. Right? Ireland is another one. You can put it in Australia. You know, Austria is a good one as well. Right? So primarily English speaking countries. All right. I'll say what else we have. I got Jamaica. Right. So now that's maxed out right here. All right. And now you go in and you submit your job. And that's how you post this project on Guru. So Guru takes a couple of minutes for it to get approved, but you're good to go. Super clean, super simple, right? So the same thing for, like if we go back over here to our project templates, same thing for an editor. Same thing for like this proofreader editor project here. If you needed to go in and hire like an editor. Same thing for if you needed to, like we just did the nonfiction ghostwriter one-off, right? But let's say if you wanted someone to write a series for you. Same thing for like a 7-book, you know, series where you had this fiction series that you needed a writer for. Same thing for if you just wanted, you know, one fiction book to be written. So here, I'm going to show you these really quickly. I'm going to run through these. So let's look at what the editor project post looks like. Super simple. So you're like, hey, let me bring this down a little bit. So I'm looking for someone to proofread and edit. Now, this was for what I did here. I was looking for someone to go in and proofread or edit 2 30,000 word ebooks every 2 weeks. All right. I since was able to go in and hire 2 editors. And what I'll do is sometimes I'll hire 2 people for the same position, like if it's an editor, and then I end up just testing them both out, and I'll keep the one that I like the best. All right. You don't have to do that. That's just my way of split testing people. All right. So the topics range from romance to mystery to sci-fi and everything between. All right. These are some little, these are my templates basically. So within this template, you get other templates. So I'm going to show you how I'll put my like copyright pages and everything else. They're set up here. So I'll put the author's name here. All right. So this is for my proofreader, my editor here. And then I'm telling them to format the books for Amazon's Kindle package, right? Just like this. So I'm showing them exactly how I want the book to be formatted. So again, there's total clarity. There's no guesswork here. They're following Amazon's guidelines on how they should format this thing. So they're not coming back to me and saying, hey, how should it be formatted? I'm showing you exactly how it should be formatted. These are the initial pages that I want. These are my copyright pages, right? This is how I want you to set that up. And this is how I want you to format the book. Right? And then I say I want you to also format the book for each of the following file types. Now, you only need Microsoft Word, to be honest with you, but I like to get it in all of the formats: Microsoft Word, Mobi, EPUB, and PDF, just so that I can have them. Because we're not only publishing our books on Amazon, there's some other platforms that I like to publish to as well. Right? And some of those other platforms will only accept like a Mobi or only an EPUB file format. So why not? If your editor is going to do it and there's no additional charge, why not have them give you all of the different file formats? It's like if you guys are having graphics done, right? If you're having your covers created, don't just let you guy give you the cover in a JPEG format. Tell them you want like a JPEG, you want like a GIF, you want like a TIFF, you want a PNG file, a transparent file. If you are having like a logo created, they don't charge you any additional cash for that. All right. So then step 5, I especially need you to make sure that both ebooks read well grammatically, don't contain any spelling mistakes. You must be a team player who is responsible and commit to staying focused and on schedule, no exceptions. I don't deal with people that make excuses. So I want folks that are going to be team players. I want the editor to be able to communicate with my writer if I need them to, right? I'm looking for someone that can do this long term. So I'm just telling them, hey, 2 ebooks every 2 weeks without fail. And then I'm willing to pay $150 per set of every 2 books that you edit. So I pay my editors for something like this. I publish books in a few different word counts. So I'll do 10,000 words, 20,000 words, and 30,000 words. So this is obviously, I'm looking for someone to edit 30,000 words for me every 2 weeks there. And I'm looking to pay $75 per 30,000 word ebook. All right, is that clear? Does everyone get that? So now, if it's something like 20,000 words and I'm not paying $75, I'm paying like $50. If it's like 10,000 words, I'm paying like $25. Okay. Okay. So now you don't want to get to like the 30,000 words and stuff like that until you're a little bit more advanced. You're doing some other things. And then I go in, I say, I'm looking to hire someone who has a great command over the English language and can very easily spot grammar and spelling mistakes, as well as turn average content into engaging written material. So in short, someone who can make my writing better while providing the final proofreading check to ensure perfection before I make it available to my audience. This is a super easy job, especially if you know what you're doing. So please bid fairly. If this fits you, place a bid and let's rock and roll. So here's some questions now. When they actually start to bid, here's some questions that I asked them. I'll go in. When I start to get these bids in and I find someone that I actually like as an editor, I'll say, hey, why are you the best person for this job? Why am I asking them this? I want someone that's confident. I want someone to say, hey, I'm the best person for this job because I've edited, X number of books before, because I'm passionate about editing, or I love, I'm a grammar cop, right? I'm the person that goes in and that checks grammar. Okay. Once hired, can you commit to the schedule of editing 2 books every 2 weeks? You'll just change this up to whatever your schedule is. I want someone reliable, confident, and capable. Absolutely pro. And then I'm asking them for samples of their work. Now, this is before I hire them. After I hire them, I'm asking them some other questions. Thanks for bidding. I'm hiring you now. You could just copy and paste this, guys. When formatting, please be sure to. And I'm giving them specs again. All right. I'm giving them specs again. I'm telling them exactly what I want them to do. Add in proper spacing between paragraphs, chapters, etc. is needed so that the content does not look jumbled together like this. Like I don't want my content to look like this. That's not a good reader experience, is it? Is that a good reader experience? Not at all. So I want them to add some spacing, some formatting in between this. Okay. So I'm giving them just like, this is stuff that I've learned and I've mastered and perfected over, doing this for 15 years, a decade and a half. So you guys get all of this, you get all of the mistakes, you get the shortcuts. So you get to get these documents and, you're up and running. I'm giving them my copyright and other pages. All right. All right. So there you go. So let's see. We're coming short on time here. I'd love to really go into a lot more detail with you guys. Let's look at one more of these templates. I'm going to let you guys choose which template you want to use. I'm going to close out some of these here. So let's look at these templates. Which one? Well, I guess there's only 2 others that we can look at. We can look at the Fiction Ghostwriter Project, the one-off, or the Fiction 7-book series Ghostwriter Project. So if you want to look at this one, just type a 1 in. If you want to look at this one, type a 7 in, and we'll take a vote. Let's see. What do you guys think? Wow, the 7s are coming in. All right, so we'll look at the 7. It's like hands down. All right, so we'll open this one up. So this is for a 7-book series, a Fiction 7-book series, right? And for these, I actually pay a little bit more. So now here's what happens here. Now we're going to come back up to this in just a minute. But first, what I'm going to do is, this is my title. This is what I'm posting over in Upwork. Now, again, this is for 20,000 words here. So I'll say diehard writers needed long-term to work on a series. All right. Someone's asking if they can still do coaching. Yes, you can, Julia Howard. Just go to kindlecashflow.com/seminar. kindlecashflow.com/seminar, and then click the, I think it's the red book of coaching call button. All right. So diehard readers need it long-term to work on a series. Pick your genre, 140,000 words total, because I'm asking them to write 7 books, 20,000 words per book. That's where I get the 140 from. All right. Does that make sense? Do you enjoy writing for any of the following genres? Now, romance, crime, mystery, religious, inspirational, sci-fi, horror, children's books. I'm published in all of these genres here. So I'm looking for people. Why am I asking them, like, what genres do they enjoy writing for? Because I want to hire. Why do you think that is? I'm going to let you guys answer, because it looks like some of you guys are just. What do you think that is? Why do you think it is? I'm asking them, what genres do they enjoy writing for? All right. Yes, absolutely, Alexander. All right. Because I want passionate folks. So I'm letting them choose the genre. Like, I want the guy or the gal that says, I love writing for children's books, because she's going to write some really great books. Right? She's going to write books. So now if I force her to go in and write romance or crime or mystery, they're probably not going to come out as well. So I want to put people in areas of their passion zone. And then I go in and say, I'm looking to hire a couple of great writers to write a few original content stories that I can give away to our readers on our website. Now, here, let me go back to this, and I want to clarify a little bit. Some of you may not be interested in publishing religious or inspirational books or science fiction or fantasy or horror or whatever. Maybe you might want to just publish crime and mystery books. That's fine. You could just get rid of it. You get rid of the rest of these, and you can change this up, and you can just simply rephrase this to say, do you enjoy writing crime and mystery? Do you enjoy writing romance? Whatever it is that you're looking for, okay? I'm looking to hire a couple of great writers to write a few original content stories that I can give away to our readers on our website. Again, they don't need to know what you're using it for. It's none of their business. You would be needed long-term to write a series of 7 books, each no less than 20,000 words. Each book would end in a cliffhanger and pick up where the last one left off, just like a television series. Each book should have main and supporting characters that could eventually go off into a spin-off series of their own. This right here is gold, folks. This is gold. How many people ever watched Seinfeld? Wasn't there a spin-off series with Seinfeld, right? Remember that? I don't know what the series was. But you see some of these shows, right? They have these great characters, and then what do? They spin the characters off into their own show. Frasier, that's what it was, Christian. That's it. Right? So same thing here. So I want my characters to be so vibrant and so like supporting on their own that they can go off and they can spin off into their own series. All right. Like Buffy, right? And then the spin-off Angel. Absolutely, Gabrielle. So then I say I'm open to paying $250 per book in a series, because again, these are 30,000 word books. So $1,750 for all 7. One at a time, because I'm not paying this all at once. 1 book at a time. 1 book at a time. You complete book number 1. I pay you for it. I start to publish it. Start to get some sales in. And in the meantime, you're working on book number 2. Once you're done with book number 2, then I pay them. So does that make sense? Happy days in all of the family. Absolutely. And I think it was like the Jeffersons also, Ron Lee. So do you guys see that? Is that brilliant or not? Like, you want your characters to be strong. What if book 1 is terrible? I've never had a terrible book 1. So I can't tell you about that. Right? So, before you bid, please note the following. To begin with, we will start with modeling a book that I personally like. I will give you its book blurb and 100 of its reviews to read through. By reading the reviews, you'll know what readers love about the book that I give you, all right, as well as what they dislike. From there, you'll be required to model the plot spoken about in the reviews and format the overall plot of a series that you'll be writing, as well as the plot of each book. So 8 plots in total for the 7-book series. I got a typo here. Right. Mark asks, am I going to email these templates to you. I'm actually going to give you a link to the templates. Once you book your coaching, right? For everyone that's booked their coaching, you're going to get these templates here. So everyone that's booked the coaching, you're going to get your template. You're going to get the templates, I should say. And I'm going to give them to you. I'm going to give you a link so you'll be able to go in and download them. Yep. All right, so awesome, Mark. So you'll get these. I'm going to give these to you tomorrow. All right, I'm going to give them to you tomorrow. I require that every single sentence of what you write come from your own creative mind. In other words, I will check every single line. All right, I will not accept nor will I pay for plagiarized content, even if you simply borrow one sentence out of 2,000 plus words. All right, everything you write must be 100% unique and created by you, and you must be willing to sign a contract. I need these to be formatted for Kindle e-readers, including hyperlinked table of contents. Super important. I will own all of the rights of a finished project once you are paid for it. That means I will own the byline rights, the resale rights, the ownership rights, the copyrights, and everything else. And I will require that you sign a contract agreeing to this. All right. Let's see. Your written English must be a 100% on target, much better than mine. A little bit of humor in there. In fact, I'm mainly looking for writers from the US, Canada, Australia, and the UK. For each story, I will require a mini series with regular characters where each story ends in a cliffhanger, meaning each ending is a continuation of the last and leaves the reader in suspense. And in the next story, you'll have to deliver on what the cliffhanger promised in the last story. All right. A complete one-page synopsis detailing what the story is about. This must be at least 300 words. This should be written in Times New Roman. 2,000 plus words per story. I hate sounding so formulaic, but I get a lot of jokers who bid and try to pull a fast one. So with that said, I'm only looking for serious, long-term, this is another spelling typo here, serious, long-term people who love to write stories of this nature, because I will have a ton of work for you. When bidding, be sure to add the phrase, get it right, at the very beginning of your bid. You should be available long-term, as I'm looking for more long-term writers on our team. I would love to have you create a continuous mini-series with each one being a 20,000 plus word story. And again, you could change this up. Start out at 10,000 words, 5,000 words if you want, right? There's some students that are publishing super short books and series. Having a cast of regular characters as well as new people being introduced from time to time. This is easy stuff, and if you are good and your price is good, I can give you very regular work. Show samples of your other work, all right? And then questions. So once I start to find someone that I think is good, before I hire them, I'm going in and I'm asking them a series of questions. Now, I'm not going to go through these questions right now just because I want to save some time. But you guys, once, like I said, everyone that's in here and that is a VIP and that's booked their coaching call, you'll get all of these templates. So you'll be able to go in and jump into this thing. All right. Sounds good? Very clear, right? That's the thing. So whenever I see someone having a problem at all, which is rarely, it's because there's clarity missing somewhere. And the clarity is missing in their, oh, look, we got 2 bids already. Isn't that cool? So 2 bids. I don't know if we probably didn't get anything on Google because, again, it takes a little bit of time for Google to approve. So it probably just got approved. But whenever I see someone having an issue, it's normally because they are lacking clarity as to what it is that they want and what they expect. You have to set the expectations, right? It's like I've got 4 kids, right? So I learned to be able to be very detailed in what I expect. Hey, take the dog out. Yeah, they'll go take the dog out and then they bring the dog back in 2 minutes. Nope, go take the dog out. Take him for a walk on the trail, walk him for about 5 or 10 minutes, make sure that he uses the bathroom, bring him back in. So you're very clear and detailed so that there's no misunderstanding. And even if there is a misunderstanding, it's all documented, right? So now with this, it's like boom, 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 boom. They're going through it. And I find that writers, you guys that are writers, back me up on this. Let me know if I'm right or wrong. Writers are very detailed. So if they get something like this, they're looking at like boom, 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 boom. They're checking the boxes. Is that right or is that right? Absolutely. Very detailed. Like if you want brilliant people on your team, you go hire someone that's creative in a writing sense. Right? You can be the dummy. You could be the dummy as the leader. You just go get yourself some good writers and boom, you're on it. All right. All right. So there we go. So next, let's talk about the next way that you can go in and actually get content created. All right. So let's look at this. I'm going to be no PLR content. You don't want to use PLR content. Why don't we want to use PLR content really quickly, guys? Let's let Des know. Why don't we want to use PLR? And I'm not going to, well, PLR really quickly is private. It's short for private label rights. Private label rights means you've purchased content from someone else that's also selling that content to multiple other people. So let's say if I have an ebook, this is our schedule here. Let's say if I have an ebook, I wrote this thing, and then now I sell a copy to Mike Lamb, I sell a copy to Kirill Clark, I sell a copy to Linda Shute, and I say, hey, all of you guys can go in and resell that copy. And all of you go in and publish that on Amazon. Now there's 3 versions of this book, and that's not a good reader experience. And Amazon does not like that. All right. It's totally against Amazon's terms of service. So you can get in trouble and you can be dropped from Kindle, as Julia Howard just said. And PLR is usually poor quality, right? So we want to publish some good content. We want to represent the Kindle cash flow community in a good way, right? So that we're publishing good, high quality content. All right, so that's that right there. So now I want to jump into the other way that you can get content created. The other way that you can get content created is you can use a service like Rev, a transcription service. So if you know, right, something about your topic, if you know something about the content that you want to write, you can come over here, you can use a transcription service like Rev, you can go in and you can speak it. So if I come over here, and I'll give you an example of a book. This is an old book here, right? So I'm going to go into my order history. This is one that I did a long time ago. I don't use Rev as much as I used to, right? But let's check this out here. So I was asked to contribute a chapter for a marketing book, and I was actually pressed for time. I was super pressed for time. My son Tyler was going to football practices. So there was one day, right? I'm like, someone sent me, they reached out to me. They're like, hey, Ty, we'd love to have you contribute to our marketing book. We'd love to have you write a chapter. And I was like, okay, let's do it. Sure. And then they're like, hey, the deadline is tomorrow. Can you get this to us by tomorrow? And I'm like, oh, man, dude, I'm pressed for time. I got so much family stuff that's going on here. So I went over to Rev. And as I'm waiting for my son Tyler to get out of practice, I had about 15 minutes. I was sitting there in the car, and I went in and I spoke my content for the chapter that I was contributing to the book. And this is what that looked like. So if I come over here, this is what the chapter looked like. Rev, REV.com. Yes, chef. All right. Rev. Stephen King has ghostwriters. Absolutely. All right. So some of you, you'll be surprised, guys, your favorite writers that are diehard writers, that are professional expert writers, quote unquote, they have ghostwriters because they understand that they can't write all of their content on their own. They have ghostwriters that write in their tone. Everyone. You'd be so surprised. All right. And that's the beauty. Sandy Still, who's on our team, she just said that's the beauty of pen names. You can hire ghostwriters for specific pen names and then still write your own pieces. That's what she's done. All right. So beautifully said, Sandy. Thank you for contributing that. So now back to Rev. So here's the piece of content, right, that I contributed to this marketing book. And I actually did this in 15 minutes sitting in my car. So I'm gonna play this thing. And let me just make sure that yeah, you should be able to hear it. Let me know if you can hear it. Nope, you can't hear it. Let me change where the sound is coming from. Now you should be able to hear it.
You may know me as the king of Kindle publishing. For the last 11 years, I've taught people how to take digital content and really turn it into a lifestyle business, right? So taking the act of publishing.
So I spoke that and I uploaded the file to Rev, and they transcribed it and they give me this document. You can go in, you can download it, right? You can download it in a Microsoft Word file format, a PDF, a plain text format, and now you've got content. All right? So is that cool or what? Now, again, Rev is a great site. They don't charge much. For this one, I think I paid about 18 bucks, but it gives you a significant amount of content here. Now, here's another way that you can do. So there's a ton of content that I got here. All right. Now, another way that you can do this is you can also go to Google Docs and you can do this. If you go over to tools, and then if you go over to voice typing, and now you click here and guess what's going to happen? Julia Howard says, I've been looking for a site that does this. Well, Julia, here's two sites. You can either use rev.com, rev.com, or you can use Google Docs and get this done for free. Now, do you guys see what's happening? Right? Very cool, right? Now, this is how you can get content. So if you're a realtor, you can go in, you can say, hey guys, one of the best ways to go in and find a house in this crazy market that's taking place where people are overbidding 30,000, 50,000 for properties is you look for people that are in distressed properties. They're looking to get out of it. And then you go in and you make them an offer. They may not be aware of what the market condition is right now, where the marketplace is. So they're more willing to go in and negotiate with you. So do you see how that works out? What do you guys think about that? Very cool, right? Now let me turn it off because it's all right. Now it's not, I've got an accent a little bit. So it's going, some of my words, it's going to like vehicle. I didn't say anything about a vehicle here, but you go in and you edit it and it's, dude, there's no excuses, guys, right? No excuses at all. So super, super, super simple stuff. This is how you go in and you get high quality content created. This is how you go in and you get the job done. All right. So now anyone can do this stuff. And now the third way is if you're a writer, you go in and you write it, right? So if you're a writer, you write your own content. Super, super therapeutic, right? First way, hire someone. Second way, go over to Rev. Third way, write it yourself. You can go to Rev or Google Docs. Now tomorrow we'll go over. Actually, if you guys want, we'll go over. I'm gonna let both of those bids. Remember the projects that I posted on Upwork and I posted on Google. If you want, we can come back to this. And tomorrow I'll show you how you can actually hire someone, how you can actually negotiate prices, how you can make sure that you're hiring the right person, how you can make sure that you're hiring someone who has quality content, who's going to turn in quality content. So what I want to do here is I want to give you a really quick exercise session here. I want to give you 5 minutes to go over. Actually, let's kind of skip this. All right, I want to skip this. And what I want to do is I want to get you to something else. This is super simple right now to get a short 25 to 50 page Kindle book written. We're in the golden age of fast and easy content, right? So it takes us days to have content that's created that makes you money for years. Like I said, a lot of my books that I published 15 years ago, 10 years ago is still making me money month after month after month, day after day. To see a book that I published 15 years ago still making me money. That's making, you know, when we go on vacation, like we're going on vacation next week. So these books are paying for our vacation, paying for our mortgage and things like that. So it's never been as easy, cheap, and fast to get your Kindle book written as it is right now, right? And if they do take long for you, there's something that you're doing wrong. Like I said, sometimes people will go in and they'll overcomplicate the process. This is why I want to give you guys the template so that you have clarity. You can go in and copy and paste it and you get some great results. All right. Fast and easy. All right. So these templates, I'm going to give you these when you stay tuned, you pay attention, you book that coaching call. Everyone that's booked that coaching call is going to get those templates. You're going to get all 4 of these templates here. What I want to do really quickly is I want to give you guys a breakout session. So I want to give each person, all right, let's go in and we'll have a breakout session for, what's our time looking like right now? Okay, so we're kind of tight on time. So I want to give you guys, we'll give you 10 minutes. So we'll put you in groups of 5, right? We'll give you 2 minutes each. Groups of 5, we'll give you 2 minutes each, right? If we can do that, or whatever that number comes out to, tech. Right, we'll give them 10 minutes. And then what I want you to discuss on here is I want you to talk about what do you do? Like, what is your biggest takeaway from what I just talked about here. Like the 3 different options: using rev.com or any speech to text program like Google Docs, using ghostwriters, so hiring on Upwork, hiring on Guru, and then what's the pros and cons of the 2? Like, what's your favorite way to do this? Like, are you going to write your own book? You can even throw that in there because I know we have a lot of writers. We've got about 50% of the audience that are writers and authors. So which one resonates with you the most? Hiring someone else to outsource and write your content for you? Using like Rev or Google Docs to speak and transcribe your content, or writing it yourself? And talk about like if someone doesn't see the advantage of, if you've got a writer and they don't see the advantage of writing their own material and outsourcing content to someone, talk about the pros and cons of that, because I want you guys to better understand this. So go ahead, we'll open up the breakout rooms, we'll jump into that, and then we'll come right back. And then we're going to be giving away this cash that we talked about earlier. All right, so here we go. So Tech, it's on you.